I'm head engineer at Real World Studios, which is a really nice recording studio just outside of Bath in Wiltshire. And it's basically like it's a complex of three main studios. So we've got a big room called the Big Room, which is like our main studio space. Then we've got the Wood Room, which is a more like jazzy rock based space, and it's more natural that it's part of an old mill building. It's a stunning place to work. Then we've got this room, which is the mixed room here. So I basically make sure that everyone is assigned to the right sessions, and then I engineer quite a few sessions that come in myself. Just generally make sure everyone on the team's happy. But it's a really nice job, and I love what I do, and it's such a small team here that it's like you're working with your best friends all the time. So in my opinion, I've got the best job in the world for sure. Yeah. I'm really happy that I've got it, and I'm just like really grateful that I get to meet all these interesting people all the time. So I think it was quite a long journey for me, I suppose. But I knew that I liked music a lot when I was really really young. So I started by playing guitar when I was about 8 or 9. Really got into that. Got hugely into AC/DC. Thought I was going to be in AC/DC for a while. And then I started learning drums, and I started learning bass, and none of my friends played any other instruments. So I decided just to like start my own little band by myself. But you can't do that obviously unless you can record things. So the whole point was I wanted to be able to record a guitar part, then add some drums to it, then add some bass to it, kind of make a song for YouTube, that sort of thing. And it was basically just me doing it out of necessity because I didn't have people to play with. And then I decided, oh, I love this recording side. Like I didn't even know I could do it as a job at that point. It was amazing. You can really get like creative with how you go about becoming like interested in mixing, I suppose, and engineering even at that young age, because you don't really know what you're doing, which almost makes things sound better half the time in my opinion. So I got into it through that, and then discovered that there was a course at the University of Surrey that was for sound engineering that was meant to be really really good. And I basically, this was at like 12 years old, I just decided like, yeah, I'll do this then. I don't know anything else that I'm passionate about. So I basically committed to doing that, as learning as much as I could over the next like 8 years basically. And then went to uni. Luckily that all worked out. And then had an internship here. And then luckily got asked back before COVID hit. And then it was all just like all these things that came together in a really convenient way for me. And I'm really lucky about it. But I think, yeah, I think it's a strange one because people don't actually tell kids at all that you can do this as a job, which I find mental. It's all about who you know, and it's about like whether you know, like your mum's friend might be an engineer who can tell you a bit more about it. Or for me, I happened to go on a couple of studio visits at school at some really cool places. Actually, looking back, there was this guy called Fraser T. Smith who like produced Adele and things like that, and he's a big musician now. He's incredibly talented. And I went to his studio to record like the worst GCSE music song of all time. It was embarrassing. It was so bad. But he had a female engineer called Manon Grandjean, who's also just so talented. She's amazing. She's doing some incredible things now as well. She told me to commit to it, and so did Fraser. And then I was like, okay, I'm going to do this. And then a year later, I went to Damon Albarn's studio in London, also through my music teacher at the time, just knew loads of people, to record the next year's GCSE song, another bad song. And then the engineer there told me that I shouldn't get into it because it was too much hard work and you're never going to earn money, you're never going to get a job in it. All those stuff, which, I mean, completely valid and accurate things. But I think at that point I just committed to it too much and decided this is what I want to do. And I'm glad that I didn't listen to him, because otherwise I wouldn't be here. Yeah, I think it's for me, I've been lucky that I work here because everyone here is so nice. So I've never felt othered in any way, shape, or form at all. And I think because Peter's music, the guy who built the studio, he's so open and progressive, and like he's always hired female engineers here, so it's not really anything that anyone even thought about when they hired me. So I haven't really had to deal with it, which is a really privileged position to be in. But equally, I mean, obviously, because it's a client-facing role and you get clients in from all around the world and from all different backgrounds, you can be faced with it quite obviously. But like for me, I think my attitude is always like, whatever, I'm here to do a job, I'm going to do a good job, and then I don't have to speak to